What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I am here with my full card predictions for UFC Fight Night Kansas City. We've got a great card on hand. Some pretty exciting fights, man. You know, you got Ian Machado Ferry on the card. You got Carlos Prates CP. You got Anthony Lionheart Smith. You know, fraud checking Zhang Mingyang on here. You got Giga Chicad. Ikram Alistarov is on here. And the rest are nobodies. Hey, man, but let's get into this, dude. This should be a decent card, man. Let's start this off with the Oh, yeah, Matt Schnell as well. Shout out to Matt Schnell. And Damon Blackshere. I'm excited about that, all right, man? How many fucking fights are there? All right, first one we got Chelsea Chandler. Best Chandler in the UFC by far versus Joselyn Edwards. Best Edwards in the UFC as well, dude. I'm going to be picking Joselyn Edwards to win this fight by decision. I think that you cannot go wrong with a 29-28 decision in a WMMA matchup. I do think Chelsea Chandler's going to have a size advantage, but at the same time, like Joselyn Edwards, she's not this flashy, amazing fighter. There's nothing I'm going to get on here and be like, dude, the way Joselyn Edwards fights the hands, man. But listen, bro, she's beating decent competition. She's losing close fights to decent competition. She lost to Alien Perez most recently. It was a close fight. You know, she lost to Nora Cornell, who just got a win. And she's beating, you know, decent big prospects like Tamaris Vidal, who's kind of like a mini Amanda Nunes. Whereas Chelsea Chandler, she's like a classic female Nick Diaz army jobber who fights like it's 2007. Like, she literally just goes in there and swings with you, bro. And she's trying to be like Nick Diaz, basically. And I just don't think it's going to work in the year of 2025. So for me, I think Joselyn Edwards is a lot more proven, a lot more well-rounded. Higher fight IQ, probably going to have better cardio, better speed. I'm going to be picking Joselyn Edwards by decision. All right, man. Next fight to talk about, we've got Timmy Kwamba. I don't know why they're full naming this kid on Google. Timothy Kwamba. We all know him, all us hardcores. We know Timmy Kwamba like the back of our hand. We love watching him fight. And he's going to be fighting Roberto Romero. Now, Roberto Romero is the favorite because he oh my god, man, he stepped in, he fought David Oama, dude. He had a crazy fight with Oama. He had a crazy round with Oama. Pause, okay? This kid got called up one day notice to fight David Oama. Look, he had a good moment in the fight. I think he dropped him at some point. And then the rest of the fight, he just lost very clearly. And I don't rate David Oama as this top-level featherweight contender. I'll talk about that later. But Timmy Kwamba, it's such a funny name. He's more proven, okay? He's beating better competition to get to the UFC. Roberto Romero is beating guys that are like 0-1. You know, he's winning like split decisions and shit like that. Timothy Kwamba beat some pretty decent records on his way up to the UFC. And he's 0-2 in the company, but he's losing to pretty decent prospects. Whereas it's really hard to read someone that steps in on short notice with no preparation from their opponent, and someone that gets kind of glazed up like, oh my god, man, David Oama. I feel like when you see these guys come in on short notice and they have a good fight with someone top level, they always lose the next fight more dominantly. That's just most of the time I see that. So I'm going to be saying Timothy Kwamba wins this fight by decision. I'm going to say like 29-28. All right, man. Next fight to talk about. Holy fuck, man. We got Jacqueline Memorim versus Poliana Viana. I don't care at all. I'm picking Jacqueline Amorim to win this fight by submission. Poliana Viana's washed, and I just don't care, all right? This fight I do care about, though. We got Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cameron Simon. Now, obviously, bro, Cameron, you need to be spinning more, bro. You need to put your thumb inside your fist. You need to close your eyes when you're punching. Cameron Simon has the genius of Dricus du Plessis on his advantage, on his corner, on his side. He's training in the gym with Dricus, probably getting tased every week. Cameron Simon's probably cleaning bathrooms and shit in the gym to, you know, to earn some fucking time on the mats with Big Dricus. But outside of that, Malcolm Wellmaker, I think I'm going to pick him by TKO. I know that Cameron Simon has a very good resume in terms of, you know, some of the guys he beat when he got to the UFC, and even the guys he's lost to. Like, there's no real shame in losing to Peyton Talbot and Christian Rodriguez. Like, that was a close fight that he had with C-Rod. He kind of got mogged by Peyton Talbot, but, you know, it is what it is, dude. That's basically Sean O'Malley that you're losing to. Cameron Wellmaker, it's really hard. Malcolm Wellmaker, whatever this guy's name is. It's hard to read these guys coming off Contender Series because they always look so good. Like, and you never see the fight either. I don't know about you guys, but half these fucking Contender Series guys, it's like, obviously he's coming off a crazy KO, and I'm like, I do not remember this happening at all. I literally watched Contender Series this year. I don't remember this guy whatsoever, but he's coming off some pretty nasty KOs. He is a big bantamweight. He's a lot bigger than Cameron Saaiman. He has a reach advantage in this matchup. And I feel like the biggest thing with Saaiman at bantamweight is he's just a fucking midget, bro. Like, there's nothing else to say. This guy just gets bullied around at bantamweight. He doesn't have the physicality, and he doesn't really have the power, and he's basically more of a grappler, so he's going to have to take down these big bantamweights that can really sting him with one shot. We saw it against C-Rod. He's just getting bullied around. We saw it with Peyton Talbot, literally getting bitched around the octagon. There's no other way to say it, bro. I like Cameron Saaiman. I think he's a cool dude, but I just think there's a huge physicality and size discrepancy here. I think Cameron Saaiman is the more skillful, well-rounded fighter, but Malcolm Wellmaker, his striking does kind of remind me of Sean O'Malley. Like, his power, he has weird, lanky kind of power. Like, he can just loop a right hand over your jab and rock you. I think that at some point, Wellmaker is going to rock Cameron Saaiman, and I think he's going to be able to have a huge physicality and size advantage in this matchup. I just can't ignore it. I think Cameron Saaiman should be at flyweight. And I think this is going to be another example of why he should probably move divisions. I'm going to pick Malcolm Wellmaker to win this fight. Probably by like round 2 TKO. Like maybe Saaiman, tries to get some takedowns. It's not going his way. And then, he gets dropped or something like that. I could also see a decision. Like Cameron Saaiman is very tough. He is well-rounded. Like, he is a good fighter, dude. And I think he's going to have a cardio advantage in this matchup. He's going to have some good skills. But again, the biggest thing for me is the power and who's more likely to have a fight finishing sequence. I don't see Cameron Saaiman rocking this dude. I don't see Cameron Saaiman just picking him up, dumping him, getting on his back. I feel like if Cameron Saaiman takes him down, he's going to lose him pretty quickly based on the speed and athleticism of Wellmaker. So for me, I have to pick Wellmaker by either TKO or decision in this fight. All right, man? Next one to talk about, we've got Blackshere versus Alatang Hele. This is a cool fight, dude. I fuck with Blackshere, bro. I feel like, I don't know if I've said this in videos or not, I fuck heavily with Blackshere as a fighter, dude. I don't know if that's zesty to say. I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying he's a cool fucking fighter, dude. And the reason I'm going to pick him in this fight pretty confidently, I'm going to say he wins this fight by submission. Alatang Hele, I'm pretty sure he's coming off a decision win with a lot of grappling, where Blackshere, he's the best grappler in this matchup. Like, he's the better grappler. He's more well-rounded. I would say he's not the best striker in terms of his power and shit like that, but he's on a pretty decent run at the moment. He's coming off 2 wins in a row by submission. His last fight, he looked really good against Cody Gibson. And I feel like the thing with Blackshere that I'm always going to point to when he's fighting guys like this guy should be fucking ranked right now. Like, he genuinely beat Mario Batista in that fight. That's 2 fucking fights Mario Batista has fucking fluked a win by decision. I thought Blackshere beat him. I thought Blackshere beat Mario Batista back at UFC 292. I'm not letting go of that because he got chinned by Montel Jackson. He's an extremely well-rounded grappler. Obviously, he pulled off the twister a couple fights ago. But I think that overall, this matchup favors Blackshere. I think he's just a higher level of fighter in this matchup, and I think he's going to win this one by submission pretty easily. Inside 2 rounds, I'm taking Blackshere by submission. He should be fighting ranked opposition, bro. I think this is going to be the last fight that we see from him before he's fighting someone in the top 15. Now, I reckon he's going to be getting fucking Ayman Ehelwani out of the rankings pretty quick. All right, dude? Next fight that we've got here, this is at featherweight. Maybe that is a factor to consider. I don't really think it's a big deal because these guys are both bantamweights that agreed to fight each other. The fight fell through. It's been rebooked now at featherweight. It's relatively close to when it was supposed to happen. I'm going to be picking Chris Gutierrez in this fight against John Castaneda. Now, listen, I know all my sexy Mexi super fans out there. That's this guy's nickname. That's not what I'm calling him. That's his nickname, okay? You shouldn't be allowed to have zesty nicknames like that. Like, why do I have to fucking refer to you like that, dude? Why are you making Bruce Buffer call you that? It's kind of fucking weird. But regardless of that, John Castaneda, this kid, he's not beating Chris Gutierrez, dude. I think that he's a little bit more crafty. Like, he's got, he's scrappy. He can definitely get down in a fight. I think the reach advantage is going to help him out in the boxing, but I think sometimes you can get confused with a reach advantage and someone who can actually use range better. And when I watch these guys fight, I think Chris Gutierrez is a lot better at utilizing range. He may not have a reach advantage in this matchup, but he's a lot better at fighting at kickboxing range. as opposed to getting smudged the way that he's lost some of his fights against high-level names like Song Yadong, right? Chris Gutierrez, I'm just going to say this, he's a higher-level NPC. John Castaneda is like a 65 overall. Chris Gutierrez is like a 75 overall. That's the way that I look at this matchup. These guys are two complete NPC, sixth man, seventh man on the bench type players in the UFC bantamweight division. I think Chris Gutierrez is just a little bit more proven. He's losing to better names. And I'm going to say that he wins this fight by boring decision. I think he's going to utilize leg kicks. I think he's going to move around at range. You know, he may get stung in the boxing at some point. He may get taken down at some point, but I trust Chris Gutierrez just a little bit more than John Castaneda. I just think he's a little bit more consistent with the guys that he beats and the guys that he's losing to. So for me, I got to pick Chris Gutierrez in this NPC matchup. It's a close fight, but yeah, I'm gonna pick Chris Gutierrez, all right, man? Speaking of NPC matchups, this is literally the same person, Control-C, Control-V. One of them's just black and white, dude. What, like, come on, dude. What the fuck, man? Alright, bro. You know what's fucking crazy is going from watching NBA playoffs where it's like electricity. It's like, oh my god, this guy, to coming back to talking about UFC NPCs. Like, I've literally never seen either of these guys fight in my life, dude. I watch this sport every fucking weekend. I've never seen Gage Young in my life, bro. I know he's coming in on short notice. I do actually know that he fought Quill and Salkilled. Stop getting mad in the comments, dude. I'm going to pick Evan Elder to win this fight, though, man. He trains with a good team. He trains at Killcliff FC. I think he's just a lot more proven right now. Couple of fights in the UFC already. His losses are to bigger guys. Like, he lost to Preston Parsons, who is a welterweight. I think that Evan Elder is a little bit bigger. He's a little bit more proven in this weight class. A lot more UFC experience. And I think that makes a big factor when you're dealing with two NPCs going at it. I'm going to say that Evan Elder wins by a very inspiring 29-28 nothing fight that you check on Google. You know, like, this fight's going to be going on. I guarantee you're going to scroll IG Reels at some point. That's what I'll say right now. So for anybody that actually watches this, I'm going to say Evan Elder wins that fight by decision. All right, man. Headlining the prelims, we've got Matt Schnell, friend of the channel. I mean, me and Matt Schnell, obviously, we fought back in the day. Nothing but respect to my boy Matt Schnell. I caught him on the chin with a left hook. You know, it is what it is, dude. Happens when you're in there with Bedtime. He's going to be taking on Jimmy Flick. All right. Now, Matt Schnell, he's making a heroic comeback to the UFC after his double tap. Bro, how do you get put in a guillotine and double tap? Come on, man. Have some fucking respect, dude. Have some fucking class, man. I'm not picking Matt Schnell, bro. I'm not getting on here and trying to fake hardcore you like, dude, Matt Schnell, dude. He's just a level above Jimmy Flick, dude. No, he's not, bro. This guy's fucking washed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude. But Matt Schnell, if you're getting completely panic tapped by Cody Durden inside 2 rounds, you're making me think, fuck, can Cody Durden beat Joshua Van? Obviously fucking not, right? But Matt Schnell got beat by him so bad that I was like, hold on a second. Is this a bad pick? You know what I mean? I think Jimmy Flick is just a little bit, like, not half retired. So for me, I think that's a pretty good choice to make. I think Jimmy Flick is the type of guy, if he's an underdog and you're coming in there kind of overlooking him, you know, you're kind of thinking, oh, whatever, dude, it's just Jimmy the Brick Flick. You're probably going to get fucking submitted. So I'm going to say Matt Schnell comes out there doing his fucking feinting at range like he's going to pose any sort of fucking danger on the feet. And I think Jimmy Flick's going to submit him at some point. It's going to be really depressing. Honestly, I'm sorry for, like, joking around, being disrespectful. I try not to be, but when you're half retired already, you've already made the decision to retire, and then you come back, I'm not picking you. Like, that just shows me, like, oh, you know what, dude? You know what? Maybe I'll give it one more go. You know? Come on, man. I just think that an active, consistently fighting, motivated fighter is going to beat a guy that said, oh, you know what? I'm retired. And then decides to come back randomly for a hometown crowd. You know what I mean? I don't like that from you. So I'm going to pick Jimmy Flick, all right, man? My prelim picks, we got Flick, we got Elder, we got Gutierrez, we got Damon Blackshere, confident lock right there, Malcolm Wellmaker. I got Imorum, I got Kwambo, and I got Joselyn Edwards, all right, man? Let's talk about this main card. Let's talk about some people that you guys actually know exist. First one we got here, we got Ikram Alistarov versus Andre Muniz. If this doesn't get cancelled, which, you know, you never fucking know with these two. If this doesn't get cancelled, I'm going to pick Ikram Alistarov by KO. Now, I know that I made a lot of people laugh back in 2023 or 2024. I don't remember what year, when I was saying this fucking goofy blockhead doodle bob version of Islam Makhachev is never going to be anything in the division. And people called me crazy, and then I proved it when this guy got chinned by Robert Whittaker, which is just insane. But listen, man, there's fucking levels to this, dude. I'm not going to get on here and say, oh, Andre Muniz is going to be the guy that fraud checks Ikram Alistarov in the unranked section of the middleweight division. I think there's plenty of unranked middleweights that could beat Ikram Alistarov. I might even say Bo Nickel could beat this guy, but not Andre Muniz, bro. Andre Muniz, you got TKO'd by Paul Craig in a year that starts with 2020. Not back in 2017, not 2018, 2022 or 2023 even, which is worse. You got finished by Paul Craig, brother. I know Andre Muniz is coming off a very close win over Iron Turtle, Jung Yong Park. Very impressive fight. Like, that's a good name to have on your resume. Ikram Alistarov, he hasn't really fought the best guys at middleweight. I'll never forget when this guy beat fucking Wally Alves, John Anik. Somebody get this man a ranked opponent. No, please don't. But for me, when I look at the matchup and I remove all of that shit, I think Ikram Alistarov is just a lot more well-rounded, especially when you compare their striking. We've seen Andre Muniz somehow get out-grappled by fucking Brendan Allen. He had some really rough moments against Jung Yong Park. I think Alistarov is going to be a little bit more explosive and dangerous early on. And I'm going to say Ikram Alistarov wins this fight by KO. I thought Andre Muniz was like 40 years old. I'm pretty surprised that he's 35. I do think if this leaves round 2, it's probably going to be an Andre Muniz decision. That's just the way it is, man. I think it's Ikram Alistarov by KO or Andre Muniz by decision if this goes the distance. But I'm going to say that Alistarov has taken enough time. I don't think his chin is going to be worried about fighting Andre Muniz. And I do think that with his combat sambo background, you know, he's one of the Dagestani guys. He's going to be able to have some level of grappling defense to keep this on the feet long enough to land a goofy goober like flying knee or a fucking left hook or something like that. I'm going to say Ikram Alistarov does bounce back, and I'm going to say he wins this fight by KO. All right, man? Next fight to talk about, we got Randy Rude Boy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby. I have notes written down for all these other fights. I don't have any written down for this. I'm just going to pick Randy Brown by decision. I'm not going to overthink this. Nicholas Dalby, he's perfectly acceptable at fighting. Randy Brown's just slightly better. He got robbed against Brian Battle, in my opinion. And the reach advantage, the outside foot positioning, you know, this kid, listen, when you're talking about the outside foot battle, how do you not talk about Randy Brown, dude? He's going to be pumping the fucking jab. I needed like a New York, bro. He's going to be pumping the fucking jab, dude. He's going to be flicking that fucking jab right in his fucking mush, dude. Randy Brown's fucking rude with it, bro. He's going to be flicking uppercuts and hooks, bro. Trust me, bro. Randy Brown by decision. I'm not overthinking it. I'm not sweating it, man. All right? Next fight to talk about. I'm keen to talk about this, man. Michel Pereira versus Abus Magomedov. There's something about this Abus Magomedov kid, man. There's something about this young cat, Abus Magomedov, in this middleweight division. You know what I'm going to say, dude? I think this kid's on a run right now. I think Abus Magomedov is on a fucking run. He only lost to Sean Strickland and fucking Caio Borralho, dude. And Caio Borralho had to smudge him, hug him, kiss up to him, holding him on the ground like he loves him. Michel Pereira is beating fucking jobbers. I said this when he fought Anthony Hernandez. I said Hernandez is gonna fucking destroy this guy because Hernandez is fighting real opposition and Michel Pereira is fighting fucking Ihor Potieria. That's the difference between these two. Abus Magomedov has been tested against real competition. He's also destroying jobbers, dude. If you put Abus Magomedov in there against the guys that Pereira is beating, he's KOing them in one round also. So for me, I think Michel Pereira, regardless of how long he's been in the UFC, regardless of how long he's had to actually improve his cardio, his fucking fight IQ, he just does not give a fuck, dude. He literally only has one round of cardio. And I think that against Abus Magomedov, whose best round usually is round 1, except now he's improved his cardio. He's actually decided, you know what? Let me get on a fucking treadmill sometimes. Let me mix up a takedown here and there so I don't have to waste all my energy. I think Abus Magomedov is more well-rounded and I think he's more composed. I think he's going to be able to survive round 1 against Pereira, maybe via a takedown, just using his teeps, using his range. He's a pretty fucking solid kickboxer too. So I'm going to say that Abus Magomedov wins this fight by either late round TKO, like round 3 TKO on the ground, or by unanimous decision. I think Abus Magomedov is going to be winning round 2 and 3 on the scorecards of this fight. I think he's a lot more well-rounded than Michel Pereira, and I think he's the guy that has improved his cardio after finding out that, you know what, I can't just round 1 KO every single opponent, you know? That's the difference between Pereira and Abus Magomedov. So for me, I'm going to be picking Abus here. I believe he's an underdog, but I just don't rate Michel Pereira. If Michel Pereira was fighting fucking like Cody Brundage, I would say, you know what, Pereira could fluke it, dude. But Abus Magomedov, fuck no, man. All right. Next fight to talk about, featured fight of the card. We've got Giga Chicad. People forget, man, that fucking Giga Chicad run back in 2021, dude. When he beat Jamal Emmers, man. Versus David Oama. Listen, bro. Don't cancel me. I don't think David Oama should be fighting in the rankings right now. I don't know. Listen, I like David Oama. He had an entertaining fight with Nate the Train. He had an entertaining fight against Roberto Romero, whatever the kid's name is. Why is he fighting fucking Giga Chicad? Isn't Chicad ranked like number 11 right now? This doesn't make any fucking sense to me, dude. David Oama, is he powerful? Yes, he's dangerous. Obviously, he has good power. He has weird technique in the hands. Like, he is dangerous. He has a really nice jab. I like the way that he uses that. But I think the way that he throws his right hand and shit like that, Giga Chikadze is just a better striker. I think Giga Chikadze is more experienced by a mile. He's fought fucking in the rankings for a long time now. He was pretty close to a number one contendership type fight in the division as well, not that long ago. He's coming off a win against Alex Caceres. I don't think he looked that good, but I think we know more that Giga Chikadze can just win a decision against you striking. So for me, I'm going to say Giga Chikadze wins this matchup by decision. I'm going to say that he's going to be able to utilize kickboxing range a lot more effectively. We've seen that he's tough. We've seen he can take pretty decent shots if he needs to, if David Oama can land something dangerous early on. But I don't really get why Onama's in this match. I think they're hoping that he just fucking flatlines Giga Chikadze, because he has the power to do that, but I don't think he has the skill set to outstrike Giga Chikadze. Even though Chikadze is kind of older, I do think he can beat a David Oama level fighter. That's my opinion. So I'm going to say Giga Chikadze wins this fight by unanimous decision. Maybe 30-27, maybe a 29-28 if he gets rocked at some point. But yeah, I'm feeling like Chikadze wins that one. All right, man. Co-main event. Moment of silence for the GOAT, Anthony Lionheart Smith, guys. Now, I'm going to be really fucking honest with you guys. Up until today, doing the picks, I was going to pick Anthony Smith. Okay? Because, you know, listen, I like Mingyang. I like Anthony Smith. I want to shout out Jang for his performance in the Minecraft movie as one of the Iron Golems. I believe Smith was also in the movie as one of the pig soldiers. But, you know, that's besides the point, dude. I was going to pick Anthony Smith because this fucking blockhead Mingyang is a can crusher. There's no two ways about it, dude. This guy is coming off non-stop first-round KOs on the Chinese regional scene. He got KO'd by the guy that lied his way into the UFC, by the way. You guys remember that, dude? Mingyang lost to him. He lost to that guy, okay? This guy is only winning by first-round KOs. And you're telling me there's no chance Anthony Smith, whose only skill is being tough, like being a fucking cockroach in real life that can just take infinite damage and survive till round 2 or 3 and fluke you by submission. You're telling me there's no chance Anthony Smith doesn't pull off a round 2 or round 3 submission. I really wanted to bake that pick, but I'm going to trust the general consensus that Mingyang is going to win this fight by KO. The reason I'm picking him, even though my logical brain is telling me Anthony Smith's actually the greatest prediction I could ever make, I'm going to pick Mingyang to win this fight because of the retirement aspect. If this was 2023 or 2024, I'd be picking Anthony Smith. I'm dead ass serious. And when you actually think about what I'm saying, it's actually not ridiculous to pick Smith, okay? But he's checked out now. He lost one of his close friends. You saw him against Dominic Reyes. He's made it very clear this is his retirement fight. The kid's chopping it up on the desk with Dustin Poirier. Yeah, we all fought for the belt. Like, bro, shut the fuck up, dude. You're not Poirier. Bro's sitting up there with Dustin. We are all future Hall of Famers. Like, and I just think he's checked out, man. I think he's just here for a paycheck. Like I said, honestly, I really considered picking him. I don't think Mingyang is this future champion of the division. I think he is a can crusher. I think to have 6 losses when you're coming from the fucking Chinese regional scene, and your only way of winning is by round 1 KO, and you're a light heavyweight, and you expect me to believe this guy's the future of the division, I just don't fucking see it. But I think right now he can beat Anthony Smith. But again, remember what I said. My logic tells me Smith can win this, but I'm gonna trust the general consensus. I'm gonna trust the fact that Smith's retiring. I'm gonna pick Mingyang by KO. It hurts to say, I'm gonna pick him. All right, dude. Main event. We've got Ian Machado. Listen, I've gone out there And I've nearly beat the boogeyman, all right? I beat Neil Magny. Who else is doing that? Ian Machado Garry will be taking on Carlos Prates, all right? Now, I've watched a lot of footage for this. I watched a lot of Ian Garry. I watched a lot of Carlos Prates footage. A lot of CP highlights I watched, okay? I'm just kidding. Don't, Jesus, all right? I'm picking Ian Garry to win this fight by decision. I know that the crowd is now booing me. I don't care. I'm picking Ian Garry to win this by decision. Let's talk about Ian Garry, dude. He's coming off a loss against Shavkat Rakhmonov. And I'm just going to say it like it is. He looked better in that fight than Shavkat. Shavkat Rakhmonov has like 2 highlights in that fight. He landed a right hand. He landed a jab. I think Ian Garry's chin can take a right hand or a jab from Carlos Prates. The way that he moves around. When he mixes up his grappling, he's nearly submitting Shavkat. He's nearly submitting MVP. He's dominating Neil Magny, right? I think that in this fight, Ian Garry is going to be totally fine with being boring as fuck. People talk about Carlos Prates like he's fucking Francis Ngannou. Dude, 1 punch from Prates, man. Garry can't take that. Carlos Prates is beating up fucking jobbers. There's no other way to say it. Oh my god, man. Who does that to Trevin Giles except fucking everyone with power? Oh my god. Who gets boxed up by Giles then fluke a KO over him? Oh my god. Who gets taken down on Contender Series by a fucking midget? Who does that? Who loses to fucking randoms on the regional scene? Who does this? Ian Garry is way more experienced in the UFC. He's fought tougher competition. He destroyed the guys that fucking Carlos Prates is beating. He already beat Neil Magny so dominantly. And the thing that I just said, he doesn't care if it's boring. People are like, oh man, Ian Machado Garry got dropped by Song Kanan. When did he get dropped by Song Kanan? He opened up trying to empty the fucking tank on him, trying to be entertaining, got rocked, and then immediately finished him at the end of that fight. Now Ian Garry is boring as fuck. He doesn't care about that. He's not going to open up if he doesn't need to. He's going to just stand at range and flick calf kicks at Carlos Prates, probably stomp oblique kicks. And the second he gets a chance to mix up the takedowns, the second he gets a chance to tangle up Carlos Prates, make him work off his back, make him work defending Ian Garry on his back, I think over 5 rounds, Ian Garry is going to genuinely just be better than Carlos Prates, dude. Carlos Prates has dangerous KO power in round 1 and 2. I want to see this guy in round 3, 4, and 5. Because if it goes there, Ian Garry's winning this fight by decision. I think Ian Garry's going to win this fight by 49-46 decision. Basically, what I'm saying is, right, Carlos Prates is dangerous. He has power. We have no fucking idea what this guy's grappling looks like. We have no fucking idea what this guy's cardio looks like. Okay? And he's not fighting the elite level guys that Ian Garry is fighting, bro. Do you seriously think Carlos Prates goes to a decision with Shavkat Rakhmonov? Be fucking real right now. No, he doesn't. No, he fucking doesn't. No, he does not, bro. Carlos Prates has the advantage of being able to finish the fight at any point. Ian Garry, the longer this fight goes on, he's more well-rounded. He's more composed. He's more experienced in the UFC. He's a better grappler. He has great defense. He doesn't care if it's boring. Ian Garry is going to win this fight, dude. I feel like there's like people are hoping Carlos Prates wins. What have you actually seen from this guy? It's like, oh my god, man, Carlos Prates. We've never seen anything like this, man. Oh my fucking god, man. Ian Garry's going to stand at range in the first 2 rounds, flick some leg kicks, pump a couple of jabs, not really open up, let Carlos Prates just try and fucking chin him. As soon as he mixes up takedowns, as soon as he clinches him with his zesty clinch, I think he's going to be able to completely outgrapple Carlos Prates easier than he did against Shavkat. Prates is not on the level of Shavkat Rakhmonov. And I think that Ian Garry's going to win this fight pretty clearly by decision. I think he's going to have some moments where he's on the back looking for a submission. I trust Prates because of being a fighting nerd to not get finished. I will say that. I think he's going to show some level of awareness on the ground in terms of defense and being able to get back up early. But Ian Garry's really good, even against guys that know what they're doing in the grappling, like a Shavkat, right? Like a Neil Magny, like a fucking MVP who, you know, he's not the best grappler in the UFC, but he's a long, lanky, dangerous striker who is training constantly to be taken down. I think Ian Garry has proven that if he gets on your back, he's going to win that round off you. He's going to threaten a rear naked choke. We know he can go 5 rounds. We know he can, like, dictate direction and pace and just not get clipped with bullshit. Like, he's fought dangerous guys already. He can get clipped and then mix in a takedown. He can land shots at range and then mix in a clinch. So I trust Ian Garry way more than I trust Carlos Prates, especially over 5 rounds. I'm going to pick Ian Garry by decision. I think he's going to out-grapple Carlos Prates. I think he's going to have moments where maybe he gets his little P-head pinged back a little bit early in round 1 and round 2. But I'm going to say from round 2 onwards, Ian Garry just avoids any sort of actual exchange, mixes up the grappling, you know. Yeah, I think his cardio is going to hold up a lot better than Prates as well. But let me know what you guys think down below. I'm sure there's going to be some very, very high intellect predictions for Carlos Prates in the comments. I mean, Carlos Prates, who does that to Neil Magny except for Michael Morales 2 months earlier? But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, man. You guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA. And by the way, Prates is southpaw. Ian Garry's already done good against southpaws in the past as well, so get fucked on that. I'll see you guys in the next video, man. Goodbye.